It's gonna be a long story, and I don't expect me to keep it short because I can't. I want to give you the big picture and the whole truth so at least those who wish to can provide me with a genuine suggestion, right? Oh, I don't know where to begin. I feel like I'll fall apart in pieces because of all the chaos I'm in. I used to call myself an unlucky person, but then people around me would tell me that I'm just overthinking because no one's unlucky according to them. Unless you're a total bad news for people. But today, my bad luck proves them wrong. My mother-in-law just told me that my husband will divorce me because he's done with me. How the hell am I supposed to process this bad news? Hey, my name's Apple. I'm 28 and I live with my husband Adam and my mother-in-law Angela. And my baby girl, Mary, who is the light of my life. And I first met my mother-in-law before meeting my husband. You see, Angela was my mother's best friend and our neighbor. Also, don't assume that I'm being disrespectful towards my mother-in-law. She wants me to call her Angela because that's what I've been calling her since I was a teenager. Angela, with her husband, Mr. Bob, and her boy, who was older than me, moved into our neighborhood when my mom told her about a decent property on the sale. She was always sweet and friendly until I got married to her son. Adam was always an eccentric individual. He was famous in our neighborhood. He had been the ladies' man, and that's where things went wrong. I was also charmed by him, and I found myself attracted to his flirtation, knowing he was like that with every other girl. He only saw me as a girl who was not his type. He was into tall and curved girls while I was short and had no curves at all. I had not expected us to end up together, but we did because of an accident. I'll keep this whole thing about an accident short because I just want to tell you how Adam and I ended up together. He was in his final year when he got into an accident, leading him to have fractured legs, and Angela was taking care of him while Mr. Bob was admitted to the city hospital because of his cancer treatment. So I helped Angela in taking care of Adam. Since Angela had a memory issue, I scheduled and remembered Adam's medicine, food, massage timings, you name it. One day, I went to give him the medicine and he was in a different mood. He looked at me with his gray eyes, shining with admiration. I guessed it from far away, and he pulled me closer and we kissed. I knew I always liked him. So my reaction to that was not shocking or disgusting, but I was not expecting him to go ahead and just take advantage of me like that. He promised to never do it again, but we grew closer and one day I gave in to his charm. Over the next few months, he got better and better. Later, I got admitted to the same university as Adam, and he found a job as a video journalist and started working at a very famous media house. I was surprised to see our relationship growing stronger, or maybe it was me who was thinking that. Long story short, I got pregnant when I should not have been, and he was forced to marry me by his mom and my parents because, well, he had no choice. So, he could choose not to marry, but maybe he was ready to settle down with me. Now, we've got a 2-year-old girl, Mary. It's only been 2 years, and now my mother-in-law tells me her son is done with me. What the heck does that even mean? I tried to reason with my mother-in-law, but she simply would not listen. Let me tell you something. My mom and Angela have been good friends, but when I got married to Adam, my mom was not really happy with me. So she blamed Angela for not keeping her son under control. Angela retaliated by accusing my mom of not keeping an eye on me. Now, the result of all that mess was that I had to leave college and become a housewife, whose mother-in-law held a grudge against her daughter-in-law, which is me. There has come a glitch in my and Angela's relationship. She is not sweet anymore, nor caring, and she does not seem to give a darn about me at all. The first time when Mary pooped, I asked mother-in-law for help, and you know what she told me? If you ain't know how to clean it, well, then why'd you give birth to her? Do you find it rude, cruel? Heck yeah, you should. How can she even say that to me? This is why she tells me this bad news with no remorse to my face, and I even feel that she's grinning inside, happy to see me gone. I wanted to ask Adam whether my mother-in-law told me what was the truth or not, but I can't since he's on another trip. Well, as a video journalist, he travels a lot, which is fully sponsored by his media house. He has got a permanent position and he works hard at his job. So for most time of the year, he does not come home. When Mary was only a few months old, Adam started traveling out of the country as well. He would call me now and then, only to, well, make small talk. I thought maybe his likeliness for me was like his old platform sneakers. Out of fashion. It's been 3 months since I've heard from Adam. He doesn't like face calls, so he just texted me last time saying he was, well, sent to a region where he could not use his phone because of security purposes. My mother-in-law told me that Adam contacted her via fax. My reaction to that was, who uses fax in the age of TikTok? To be honest with myself, I can't bring myself to trust my mother-in-law, who just knows how to make me feel bad for marrying her son. How friendly we were earlier, but over the past 2 years, we have not even talked to each other properly. I almost begged her to tell me why she was saying that Adam had reached his limit with me. She said that she didn't know either, as the only thing that my husband mentioned was he did not want to continue with the marriage. So, I asked how she felt about me leaving the house with a 2-year-old daughter. Your eyes will bleed reading her answer to me. I could not care less, Apple. You can go out to your mother's house. I know she'll help you be a good mother, though she could not be one herself. She dared say that to me. I never knew that my mother-in-law could be so rude and cold. Now, you tell me, should I trust my mother-in-law? Maybe she just wants to get rid of me. I'm already losing my head over Adam's loose character, 'cause he goes on so many trips and now Angela asked me to leave him. Is she a crack or something? I'm going to talk to Adam. He's returning this week, so this is about me. So guys, let me know what you would do. Comment number 1 from original post. I sympathize with you, but I also find you stupid enough not to continue your studies. If you did educate yourself, then you would be facing this situation right now. And your husband's character creeps me out. I mean, he reminds me of someone I was acquaintances with once. To be very honest, I was in a similar relationship, but thank goodness. I got to know that he was a 2-timer, and I broke up with him. I have trust issues in general, and you should stop asking whether you should believe your mother-in-law or not. Go ahead and don't believe the woman if you feel your guts. Here's a pro tip. Forget about her and Adam if you don't even like him anymore. Storm out of the house, you'll find good people out there, or maybe just don't raise even a finger and let things roll out on their own. Anyways, good luck to you. Update number 1. It's way worse. It's all wrong, and my husband has done a lot to me. He ruined my life. I could never believe that he would just do what he did without feeling any remorse. I always knew he was thick-skinned like a crocodile, but he would behave like one without being apologetic. I could never expect that. I told you I was going to seek the truth from my husband, and he blew it up in my face. He was so brutal and abrasive when he made me face reality. My brain was trying to fathom the situation as I kept questioning myself whether I knew this man at all. I know I'm writing without making any sort of sense, so let me give you the whole spiel. I told you that my husband would return this week, right? And he did. I just didn't know that he would return with his mistress. Okay, so yesterday the doorbell rings while I was in the kitchen, which was around 2 p.m. Before the bell rang, I was worried and kept thinking about Adam because it was already afternoon and he had not come home yet. Well, I'm saying this because my mother-in-law said that his flight would land at 7 a.m., so when I looked at the clock and he still wasn't here, I kept dialing his number, while Angela, who was making coffee for herself, asked me go ahead and mind my own business. She said that Adam would return when he wanted to, and I told her I had all the right to worry about my husband. She just rolled her eyes and looked away from me. When the bell rang, she went to open the door, and trust me, she was so excited to see her son returning that day, and while in the past, she seemed to have an aversion towards her son ever since he married to me. So she went and opened the door. Now, get this. For the first time, I found my feet shuddering with fear once I heard my husband's voice, followed by, "Hello?" in a woman's voice. I stopped doing what I was doing and ran out just to see what the heck's going on. Was it really Adam, or was I dreaming in the middle of the day? I could not believe something that someone guessed in the comments was actually coming true. Well, my husband had come with his mistress, Cecilia, as he introduced her to Angela. Angela looks at me, and she was as shocked as I was, and I went ahead and confronted my husband, and then and there, he admitted that he was done dealing with me for 2 long years. His comments also revealed the brutal truth to me. He knew Cecilia from the moment he joined his media house, and they were together. I just stared at the woman, asking whether she was ashamed or proud to have an affair with a married man. Before she could speak, Adam asked me to shut up, but how could I? I went on accusing the woman of being shameless, while I accused Adam equally for destroying my life. The woman said that she and Adam loved each other, so there was nothing wrong with having a relationship with him as long as it was a mutual decision. I was stunned. I was mad. I saw Angela standing up and asking Adam to sort this whole thing out on his own. I was almost on the verge of crying, but then I saw Angela. It was just for a glimpse, looking at me with a certain mixture of sorrow and pity in her eyes. For a moment, I thought that she'd come and hug me, shield me from the pain, even from her son causing this, but she went away. I had so many questions that I wanted to ask Adam, but I simply started crying because I was overwhelmed with how things unfolded right here in front of me. He just took Cecilia by the hand and said his final words to me before leaving the hall. I want a divorce. I woke up today and found out from Angela that Adam and Cecilia were out for the whole day. He had left a note asking me to clear my things from the bedroom as he wanted Cecilia to move in there, and how dare he think that I would do his bidding? He has not even answered to me. How come his attraction towards me was so fragile and brittle? Did he simply use me as tissue paper and throw it away when he was done? Was I only temporary little toy for him? He was playing with me all along, and I simply let him. He was never sincere, but only just wanted me, 'cause he could not move out of bed and flirt with other girls of his type when he got into the accident. So, Angela looked at me and said, "Ah, poor child." It didn't make sense because as I continued to sob and thought out loud, she kept playing with Mary on the couch across from me and seemed like the end of the world for me. Update number 2. Hey guys, so things are not really going well. You may think how calmly I am saying this, but I can't show you how overwhelmed and heartbroken I am using a written tone. My tone may be unable to carry my emotions, but I hope you're with me if you're able to relate even an ounce of what I've been saying this whole while. I'm unlucky, and I know it, but this much I could never fathom. The literal embodiment of the word heartless is my husband. Again, even when Adam is in the picture throughout this scenario that I'm going to write about, he's not really there too actively. He's behaving like a passive figure, and literal dominating man who thinks that he'd ask me to clean his crap and I'd just oblige. I'm tired of listening to him saying over and over again that he wants me out of the house, but the man has come to lose it now, and I think he has gone utterly crazy in asking me to leave my daughter with him. I'm in a dire situation, guys. Do you know what happened over these past 2 weeks? Following the day he asked me to clear my things from the bedroom, Adam took Cecilia sightseeing in the countryside, and when he returned, I still had not cleared my things, which made him angry. So, he threatened to break my things and throw away my clothes if I did not empty the room. He asked me to move them to a smaller room beside Mary's room, and all of this drama, this heartless man did not even care to look at his daughter for more than a few seconds. He pretended to be so busy with his trips and his new girl that he never showed compassion to Mary. I'll tell you what he did when I refused to move my things. He literally went into the room, which he and I used to share, and threw my things in the hall. My jewelry box broke as it fell, and my clothes were lying here and there, and he looked at Cecilia and said, "Now you can move your things in, darling." I've never been so disappointed in a man in my whole life. Never knew I would be very soon. I cried and cried, as Cecilia did not even care to look at me and only mumbled to Adam that he did not have to be this harsh with me. To which he responded that he knew my type of girl, a crybaby and unbearable. Angela was out with Mary and had returned and saw my things lying broken and scattered. She panicked. She rushed to hug me, and I did not show any surprise at the moment because I desperately needed a hug from somebody. In a split second, she moved away and told me that Adam had given her divorce papers to pass on to me, and he had specifically mentioned, and I quote, "If you want the maintenance allowance, you better give the custody of Mary to me," said my mother-in-law. So, what am I really supposed to do now? I can't leave my daughter behind if only I leave Adam tomorrow. Why does he even care to ask for custody when he doesn't really have any emotion to show Mary? He did not even hold her in his arms once after his arrival, and what does he want to do with my child? Oh, help me. Update number 3. I've only returned after weeks to update you briefly about my husband's shadiness. He is the literal vamp. I find it ridiculous how one of the comments said how cruel I am that I'm making my husband the antagonist. Well, you know what? Are you one of his ladies, Cecilia number 2? Let me tell you what my evil Adam did. He blackmailed me. Yeah, he blackmailed me. And he's going on it for the past 2 weeks, and he's made my life a living hell. I'm telling you. I can't give away the details yet, but what I can tell you is that Adam desperately wants me to sign off the custody of Mary to him. At first, he said that if I wanted the maintenance allowance, then I'd have to give up on Mary. So I argued. How did he think of it? I'll leave my daughter? And I'm not the kind of mother who can give up on her child for petty money. I told him that, but he kept on coming up with new things. And, well, in the past week, he played his dumb card. And it just made me feel absolutely disgusted. I was feeling awful for marrying someone like Adam, and guess what he texted me? If you think you can get away by refusing the sign of Mary's custody to me, then you're wrong. I have something for you, and it would not take me long to ruin your reputation. Sign the divorce papers. Don't delay it. Give me Mary and get out of my life. I can't believe that I was charmed by somebody like him. The text actually made me restless, and I wanted to know what the thing was. So that day, Adam and Cecilia returned late after their dinner date, and I stopped Adam at the doorway. I demanded the answer to my questions and asked him what was under his possession that could ruin my reputation. He just gestured to Cecilia to go upstairs, and he walked towards the couch in the hall, and he sat down and asked me to sit as well. He pulled out his phone, and I could not feel anything except fear. I did not move. But then he stopped the video he showed to me and said that if I did not sign the divorce papers and custody papers, that he would upload the video online, and he just went away. I was scared after he showed me, and I felt like I'd have to sign the papers. Honestly, I was going to sign them already, but not for the custody. I felt my guts tearing inside, and that churning would not stop. I was pukish and wanted to hit Adam for secretly recording something like that and now using it to blackmail me. I was losing it. But then I felt a hand on my shoulder. It was unexpected, but it was Angela. She came up with a plan, and I'm gonna execute that with her help, and I'll update as things roll out later. Wish me luck. Update number 4. This whole thing's gone wild over the past few weeks since my last update. A lot's happened, you know. Sit tight as you go about reading this, because last week, I filed a lawsuit against Adam for blackmail. I told you that Angela had suggested something that could really teach Adam a lesson. I was skeptical of Angela helping me, but I did not know that she had warmed towards me ever since the day that Adam brought his mistress and threw my things out of his room and broke it. I was curious to ask Angela why she was there for me, helping me. At the end of the day, I chose to remain silent. She was helping me and taking care of Mary while I dealt with stress and anxiety. Angela helped me with the lawsuit stuff. She contacted one of her closest friends who happened to be a lawyer. We were doing everything secretly because I wanted Adam to know it when everything was actually happening to him. The lawyer helped us with things like taking steps to file the lawsuit against Adam. Further, the police had to be given the proof before they acquired a search warrant to actually check Adam's phone to get the video out of his phone. I submitted the text that he had and sent to me, while Angela became the witness for what he showed to me and had said as a form of blackmail. As we planned, the police finally got the warrant, and when the police showed up at our place, Adam was home with his mistress. He wasn't even given time to react. And on confiscating his phone, the police found not only my video in it, but also many pictures that he's taken without my consent. Everything was taken before we got married, but we were in an intimate relationship. I don't know if he's the kind of creep and, voyeur. The case had luckily gotten strong, and now it was easy for me to prove it in court. Yes, I was being blackmailed by him. There was a hearing yesterday, and the result came out in my favor. Throughout the hearing, Adam kept saying that he was not guilty. He just sent me a text to simply ask me to sign the papers, but it did not look like a simple text either to a court or his lawyer, because in the end, he was unable to protect himself. Adam was to compensate me for what he's done, and he was also to spend 6 months in jail. When he was being taken by the police after the hearing, I threw the divorce papers at his face. There's going to be another hearing after a couple of days, when he'll be told to pay me child support because I'm not going to give him my daughter. That is for later, and I'm happy that I'm finally free of all the chaos and drama that Adam caused. It was all hell for me for these past weeks or months, or maybe I've just lost count. Update number 5. It's been 2 days since my last update because when I was reading what I wrote and people's response to that, I found that there's something I forgot to mention. I forgot to mention the last missing piece of details in my last update. I thought I was done with the pain and anxiety that Adam caused me, but no, there's something else. Do you remember I said I was suspicious of my husband asking for Mary's custody? After the last hearing, Angela opened up to me and apologized for her behavior for the past 2 years. She said she saw me as someone who not only ruined her life, but also her son's life. But now she knows that it was largely Adam's fault that we ended up this way. She also told me that Mary had been given shares of property by her late grandfather, my father-in-law. When Mary was born, my father-in-law was hospitalized for cancer treatment. It was the final stage, and we all knew how it was going to end. What I did not know was that he had given Mary a large chunk of his property. She could only, claim it once she turned of legal age. Angela also revealed that she and Adam had an argument days before he threw my things out of the room. When my father-in-law was in the hospital, he asked Adam to take responsibility for what he did to me if he wanted the money. My father-in-law was somebody who was very much influenced by all talks of karma and morals. He was angry at Adam when he showed reluctance, though he eventually gave in to the demand and gave him only a small part of the property. Mary got half while my mother-in-law got the rest. Adam wanted Mary because he wanted the money. Cheating is one thing, but I never knew that Adam could swoop so low. How come I was so blind that I could not see that he was such a person? He never really had a conscience, let alone a good one. When Cecilia got to know that she no longer had any claim in the house she was living in, she moved to her own condo. I was ready to move out since I also did not have a claim, but Angela stopped me. She's decided to keep me with her, and we're going to live happily. I know Adam, will get out someday, and all the drama will take place again, but for now, I just want to breathe. You guys should too. Thanks for reading and commenting. I do not know what OP's cheating ex was thinking. You can't go behind someone's back and blackmail them with photos and videos of them in very compromising photos and then not expect something to come about that. I am just so glad, though, that the mother-in-law even saw the wrong that OP was going through, and she decided, you know what, I'm actually going to help her out. This was groundbreaking. I want to hear from you guys, though. Do you think OP's ex got everything that he deserved? A small time in jail, it wasn't that long, but still, let me know if it was a good enough punishment. Drop your thoughts downstairs in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about today's story. My name's Mr. Reddito. I narrate stories every single day. I hope to see you tomorrow. Smash that subscribe button, but remember one thing. It's cool to be kind. See ya!